Hey guys, it's Oscar with Hobby News Plus. Thanks for joining me today. I wanted to talk about the new upcoming Panini Prizm UFC product that's due out on March 25th. So this is the second year for Prizm UFC. 2021 was the first year that it was released. And what's really interesting to me is when the product came out last year, all of the pre-sales, I believe they were right between about $700 and $800 a box pre-sale. This year, they're $1,000 a box pre-sale. That's basically what I'm seeing around. And what fascinates me is I thought last year was high. I thought this year was high. But last year's boxes that released for, I believe it was around 800, are currently going for at least $2,000 on eBay. So the price basically more than doubled in about a year, but it was also the first year. So usually first year products do have a premium. Usually they're a little bit more limited. So I'm curious to see what happens over the next several years and, moving forward with the 2021 product. However, the 2022 product has a bunch of new parallels, a couple of new inserts. It's a great looking product, so I'm curious to see what happens with the 2022 product as well. So as you can see here, the base set is the heart of every Prizm product. And so the base set for Prizm features 200 different cards, and I went ahead and counted ahead of time, guys, but there are now 23 different parallels from the silver to the one of ones. So we'll take a look at the checklist and run down the different parallels, but there's literally 23 different parallels, which is just wow. So moving forward, the base design, give you an idea. Now this is a parallel obviously, but the base design looks a little bit different, but really cool, has kind of an octagon look to it. Not much change as far as from 21 to 22. The one thing that's really interesting in the UFC Prizm product, as opposed to like say the Prizm NBA, Prizm football, the autographs seem to hold more of a premium. So in other words, Prizm basketball autographs almost seem to be an afterthought, whereas in the UFC product, they definitely hold more of a premium. They're more sought after, I would say. So there's a lot of first autographs. Here's one. This is Chris Daukaus. So basically, this is the black version of what would be his first auto, and this is, of course, his first UFC card. They also have the Champion series of autographs, which is basically the most sought after. There's the Champion, and then there's also the Legendary, which are the two most sought after autograph sets in UFC products. So there's the base autograph set, the Legendary set, and then the Champion set. I mean, they basically look similar, as you can get the general idea, but the rarity, of course, the base set is going to be the most common, and then Legendary is going to be much harder to get. Here is a quick example of Michael Bisping's Legendary card. A very polarizing figure in the UFC. So the Color Blast is basically the most sought after insert in the UFC product, besides, of course, the base parallels. Obviously, the Color Blast returns for 2022, but there are a couple of new inserts. There are basically two new inserts for the 2022 product. The first one is the flashback card. So for those who have been in sports cards or no Prizm, this is, I believe, they're 2012, if I'm not mistaken. So their original Prizm design, and they call these the flashback Prizms. So you're going to see a bunch of these on the previous design as inserts in this set. And then the second new insert set is the bonus machine set. Guys, what do you think of Cerrone there, man? Being a longtime UFC fan, I almost didn't recognize him. Not only the facial hair here, but he just looks older and a little bit bigger. So pretty cool to see Donald Cerrone changing it up a little bit. But so these are the bonus machines parallels. I'm real curious to see what these look like in person. Is this going to be some sort of like I don't know, like a refractor? I'm sure there'll be a ton of different parallels, but just the base card, I mean, if this was like some sort of foil, that would be amazing, the background here. But I've never seen an etch or foil card on Prizm, so that's probably just hoping. The breakdown of the product comes 12, 12, and 12. So basically 12 cards per pack, 12 packs per box, and of course 12 boxes per case. The set size we talked about is 200 cards. Excuse me, guys, I believe I said the release date was the 25th. It's the 23rd, so March 23rd. I apologize if I made that mistake in the beginning. So each box, and of course this is a hobby box, for any of those unaware, most premium brands, or most products, I should say, will have the hobby version, which will have the most hits, the most inserts, and then there'll be a retail version and God knows what else. But hobby is always going to be the most expensive, the most sought after, and then have the best quote unquote autographs or inserts. So you get 2 autographs per box, 22 Prizm parallels. So that's anything from, the silver to the blue to the, we're going to go over them in just a second, guys. Like I said, there's 23 different versions now. So let's take a quick look. These are all of the parallels of the base card. So you're going to have green prisms, hyper, ice, pink ice prisms, ruby wave, silver, white sparkle, and so on and so on and so on. Depending on what your focus is, some of us are collectors, some of us are investors, some of us do both, some of us invest to support our collecting habit, whatever the case might be. Generally speaking, the cards that are going to be long-term solid to invest in and solid to hold are going to be the numbered cards. Starting off with the red prisms at $2.99, blue, and so on. The white sparkle is going to be a lot more limited than some of these, but numbered cards are catching more and more traction year by year. And I think long-term, if you're looking to invest and looking to keep, the value of the cards, definitely go with the numbered ones. Very quick, funny story, guys. So several years ago, I want to say this is about four to 5 years ago, a good buddy of mine who had been collecting cards forever got into a discussion about the difference between base cards and the numbered base cards. We were specifically talking about Prizm basketball. And again, about 4 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, base silver prisms in basketball used to sell for substantially more than, like, say, the numbered to 199, for example, and even sometimes close to the versions that were numbered to like 99. So there's obviously been a huge change in that, especially because of the amount of product being produced. But yeah, base silver cards used to sell for more than the cards numbered to 199. So obviously that change has been, for me, welcome, because I'm all about scarcity, limited products, and so on, and any card numbered to 199 or 99 is going to be much more sought after long term than the base silvers, or you get the idea. So looking here, guys, there are 23 different variations, including the first off the line products. For those who are unaware, FOTL, first off the line, is basically a product released, generally I believe it's on the first day. They do it as a Dutch auction, so these boxes go for, I would say on average, about 25 to 30% more. And the exclusive, or I should say there are exclusive cards to those boxes. So the blue shimmer, gold shimmer, and black shimmer are exclusive to the first off the line product. You can only get them there. So that basically sums up the variations, of the parallels, I should say. 23 different ones, guys. So the base set comes in two different versions. There's the horizontal, which I believe go 1 through 100. Yep, and then the vertical start at 101 down to 200 here. The most desirable card, as far as base cards, first cards, that type of thing, is most likely going to be Paddy Pimbett. He should be a really, really hot, I assume he'll be the highest selling base card. And of course, all of the 23 different parallels are going to be really, really sought after. So Paddy Pimbett being his first card, first rookie card, or, whatever you want to call it, will likely be the most desirable card in the entire base set. So that covers the base. Now, a couple other things I wanted to show you briefly here are the autographs and the autograph checklist, which are pretty great, pretty cool. So the champion signature checklist, this is the fighter has to have had won one title. So what's interesting is, with the exception of Brock Lesnar here, who, great, to have Brock Lesnar in the set, he's a very desirable autograph, but most of these people are very new, or I want to say first time champions. So this is almost like a rookie champion autograph set, with the exception of Brock Lesnar, but that's just my opinion. Moving on to the legendary signatures checklist, and this is where it starts to get juicy. Of course, you got Khabib, George St. Pierre, Royce Gracie. Who else we got here? Anderson Silva, Chuck Liddell. Some really, really big, Hall of Fame names here in the legendary signatures checklist. And then finally, this is the base signatures checklist. And a couple of things I wanted to point out. Like I said earlier, the autographs in Prizm UFC generally get a lot more interest in the autographs in other sets. And there are two first autographs in this set that are going to be really, really desirable. Islam, and then, oh, you pronounce his last name, leave me alone. Islam Makhachev, and then number 48 here, Khamzat Chimaev. So these two first autographs are going to be the most desirable, or most of the, or I should say, the group of the most desirable autographs in the set. Of course, you've got Nate Diaz and a couple of other really great names. And I hope you don't mind a very quick personal story. So back in 2010 and 2011, out here in the Bay Area, I live in Northern California, my friend and I, my buddy and I, were actually promoting UFC signing events. So we would rent out hotels or halls, and we would bring in UFC fighters, or at the time also Strikeforce fighters, because if you remember, Strikeforce is here in San Jose, so literally they were 10 minutes away. So long story short, we got to do a bunch of shows with some really awesome fighters, and I kind of start with the least memorable and work our way up. But you might know Kung Lee. He's an MMA legend, but he's a little bit older and was more famous, I would say, a little farther back. Josh Thompson was a Strikeforce champion, I believe, and then of course was in the UFC as well. Let's see, who else did we have come out? Oh, Gilbert Melendez, John Fitch. I'm sure you remember John Fitch. But the two biggest names, of course, were Nate and Nick Diaz. So we were so freaking lucky. We literally, without getting too personal, paid them just hundreds of dollars each. We paid Nate and Nick Diaz, and this was at the time, 2010, 2011, UFC wasn't as big. But yeah, we paid Nate and Nick Diaz not several, but hundreds of dollars. What I'm saying is not thousands, to come out and sign autographs. I believe it was for 2 hours. And listen to this, as a bonus, their manager, Cesar Gracie, came out with them. So we got to meet, hang out, and chat with Nate, Nick Diaz, and Cesar Gracie, all kind of in a group, and it was just amazing. It was one of the best days. It was just an awesome time. So yeah, that was a great experience back, I want to say 2011. All right, that basically wraps up this video, guys. So the product is going to be super heavy on base parallels, the silvers and all the different colors. If you're looking long term, you probably want to stick to the numbered cards, but of course any first card or silver, or I should say any silver first card, is going to be desirable as long as the fighter has a good reputation or keeps winning, or whatever you want to call it. The most desirable card in the base set is probably going to be Paddy Pimbett, card number 88. And then the two most desirable autographs, besides the Brock Lesnars and the GSPs, are probably going to be the two that we went over here just a second ago, Islam Makhachev and Khamzat Chimaev. So that just about does it. But before I go, guys, please like and subscribe if you like this content. Your subscription means the world to us. I'd really appreciate it. And let me know, are you going to be buying this product? Are you skipping it? What do you think of the new design? What do you think of all of the new inserts? Basically, any feedback is appreciated. So I will talk to you guys soon. Take care.